People think owning a Rolls-Royce automatically means you've made it in life. And to be fair, for a long time, it actually did. A Rolls-Royce wasn't just a luxury car, it was the final boss of wealth. CEOs bought them, royal families used them, celebrities arrived in them, and normal people? Normal people just stared. But today, something weird happened to the Rolls-Royce market. Because now, you can buy one for the price of a brand new Toyota Camry. Seriously, there are used Rolls-Royces sitting online right now cheaper than some loaded pickup trucks. And that sounds insane. Until you realize why they got so cheap. Because owning a cheap Rolls-Royce might be one of the most financially dangerous flexes on Earth. And honestly, that's exactly why people still buy them. The first thing you notice about a Rolls-Royce is the presence. These cars don't just arrive somewhere, they announce themselves. The giant grille, the long hood, the "I probably own property in Monaco" energy. Even old Rolls-Royces still look expensive. That's the problem. Because visually, a 15-year-old Rolls still makes people think, wow, this guy must be rich. Meanwhile, the owner is Googling air suspension reset tutorial in a gas station parking lot. And that perfectly explains the modern used Rolls-Royce market. People don't buy these cars because they make sense. They buy them because of the image. Because for some people, looking rich matters more than actually being financially stable. And no brand creates fake billionaire energy better than Rolls-Royce. Now, to be fair, these cars are incredible. The interiors are ridiculous. You sit inside and suddenly every normal luxury car feels cheap. The doors close like a bank vault. The leather feels softer than expensive furniture. Even the umbrellas hidden inside the doors feel unnecessary in the most impressive way possible. A Rolls-Royce doesn't try to feel sporty. It feels powerful in a completely different way. It's more like, I'm rich enough to not care about speed anymore. And honestly, that attitude is cooler than most modern supercars. But then reality enters the conversation. Because the depreciation on these things is absolutely violent. A Rolls-Royce Ghost that used to cost over $300,000 can now be found for under $60,000. And suddenly people start thinking, wait, I can actually afford a Rolls-Royce? No, you cannot. You can afford to buy it. That is completely different. That's like being able to afford a private jet engine as furniture. The purchase price is only the beginning, because old Rolls-Royces age like luxury hotels. Beautiful, but horrifyingly expensive to maintain. One suspension repair can cost more than an entire used Honda Civic. And the scary part is that many owners still buy them knowing this. Why? Because humans are emotional creatures. And a cheap Rolls-Royce is basically the ultimate emotional purchase. It's the car equivalent of wearing a luxury watch while eating instant noodles for dinner. And here's where things get funny. A lot of wealthy people today actually avoid cars like this. Real old money rich people often drive surprisingly normal cars, loaded SUVs, quiet sedans, sometimes even boring looking wagons. Because once you're actually wealthy, you stop trying to prove it to strangers. Meanwhile, the used Rolls-Royce market is filled with people chasing status. Not luxury, status. There's a difference. Luxury is comfort. Status is making sure everybody sees you being comfortable. And Rolls-Royce sits right in the middle of that conversation. Quick pause though. If you enjoy these brutally honest luxury car videos, subscribe now. Because this channel is basically turning into a support group for people addicted to terrible financial decisions with leather interiors. And honestly, we're just getting started. Now here's the craziest part about cheap Rolls-Royces. Even when they become affordable, they never stop acting expensive. That's what destroys people. You can buy a used BMW cheaply and survive. You buy a cheap Rolls-Royce and suddenly every repair feels like the car is personally insulting you. And yet, people still do it. Because deep down, everyone wants to experience what ultimate luxury feels like at least once. Even if it's financially irresponsible. Even if the maintenance bills could emotionally reset your entire bloodline. And honestly, I kind of understand it. Because there's something hilarious and fascinating about a car that was once owned by billionaires becoming available to random guys scrolling Facebook Marketplace at 2 a.m. That's the strange beauty of depreciation. Eventually, almost every luxury car becomes accessible, but the lifestyle attached to it never does. And that's why cheap Rolls-Royces are so interesting. They're rolling contradictions. They make you look rich, while potentially making you broke, which honestly might be the most modern luxury story possible.